Hi, I'm Denise George with eXp Realty All Points North Group and Canada's first charitable real estate specialist with Real Agents of Change. Today, I had the pleasure of interviewing Delores McKay, who's with the Parry Sound Friendship Center. I'm so honored to have been able to spend time with Delores talking about the impact they have had and the reach that they have in our community. The impact that donations have had on their organization in the past couple of years has been immense. And we discussed charitable donation of real estate and how that could really be a game changer for them. Donations that large can help in ways that we can't even imagine. And not just the organization, but obviously it helps those that they service. They are in the middle of fundraising for a new building that will house them and allow them to have even further reach. So it was a great pleasure, and I hope you enjoy the interview. Good morning and welcome. I am here to speak with Delores McKay, who is from our local Parry Sound Friendship Center. And I am so honored that she has taken the time to share this space with me and to be able to get out her message of what this organization is doing for our community and beyond, the scope we will hear about. And I'm excited to spend some time talking about that. So Delores, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Well, I'd love to know a little bit about your story and tell me who you are, how you came to be at the Friendship Center. Give me a little bit of history, a rundown of how you got there.
Okay, wonderful. I'd like to start out with introducing myself. Wanabajo, Chingwakon Sandeshnakas, Makuandodem, and Nishnabekwe Ndao. Translated is that my name is Little Pine. I come from the Bear Clan. I reside here in Parry Sound and have been here since January of 2016. However, I originally come from a small First Nation in Northern Ontario. It's Matagami First Nation, which is approximately, if you know where Timmins is, it's about an hour south of Timmins. And if Sudbury, it's about 2 hours, 2 hours and maybe a little bit north of Sudbury. So in answer to your question, so having had an opportunity throughout the years of my employment to work in various positions and at different levels of government, my passion has always been to work at the grassroots level. So anyhow, prior to coming to Parry Sound Friendship Center, I was working at a healing lodge just north of here. And I was there for approximately 3 years when I saw the posting for this position here, which was the executive director for the Parry Sound Friendship Center. And I felt that this would be my ideal job. I felt this was a place that I can be a catalyst to assist with improving the quality of life for people, and in a different kind of setting as to where I was originally doing at the Healing Lodge for 3 years. But however, I felt that the quality of life for the people would be improving them spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So giving them that full round health and quality improvement in each of those quadrants. Yeah.
That's a big vision of impact, and pretty cool for you to come into that job, just having that vision for not just the organization, but for the community in general. So that's awesome. So I guess along those same lines, what is the Friendship Center's mission? So tell me a little bit about what drives the Friendship Center.
That we to provide an engaging environment for the meeting of all peoples and for the development of mutual understandings through cultural and holistic programs, and to empower and promote self-expression and to develop leadership, and to improve the quality of life through truth and reconciliation for Indigenous people and surrounding communities. So, yeah, so that's kind of where it just came together so beautifully, and yeah,
nice.
so
Nice.
that's kind of what our mission is here at the center.
Tell me a little bit about how it's evolved.
The Friendship Center started actually by a group of individuals that consist of First Nation leaders and members within Parry Sound, actually, and ministers of local churches and individuals as well, that, as I mentioned, that reside here. So anyway, this group recognized that there was a need for a center of some sort here in Parry Sound that would provide a place where the people from the surrounding 6 First Nations, being Wasauksing, Shawniga, Magnetawan, Henvey Inlet, which was also known as Pickerel, and Moose Deer Point, and Wata. Back then, Wata was known as Gibson. So yeah, so these First Nations that could come and come and have a cup of tea and something to eat and visit, or if they're on business or shopping in town, they would stop in to rest and warm up, and especially on those cool winter days, and while they wait for their ride to go back home. So anyway, the founding group of individuals identified that having a place would benefit both Indigenous and non-Indigenous people, and it would provide for a place to hold recreational activities, such I recall the president sharing all of this with me, such ping pong. They'd have those games, pool games, card games, dances, even held dances. So as well, it would be a place that they could get come and get some clothing, and a place they could sell their arts and crafts as well. That was what their visioning was at that time, and yeah,
it's like a gathering place.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. So then it was on March 24th, actually, in 1966, that this group established its first board of directors.
Wow.
Yeah. So then and then so April, May, June, July, August, September. So 9 months later, on December 5th of 1966, was when the doors were officially open to the public. And then 2 months after that, on February 2nd of 1967, the center was incorporated.
Okay.
Yeah. So since the date of incorporation, today, in amazement, we have 2 living members, and they're still to this very day on our board.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes. So that's Joyce Tababadon, she's our president, and Dora Tababadon, who is our secretary.
Wow.
So anyway, so I feel so honored, to be able to work beside these 2 great women, who carry a wealth of knowledge and historical information. Yeah.
They have some great stories of how things have changed and evolved. Wow.
Yes, definitely. So
the last couple of years obviously have been challenging for many people, and nonprofits are certainly not, exempt from that challenge. So tell me a little bit about how the last couple of years have challenged the Friendship Center, and if you've noticed changes in, those people you service.
So anyway, I would say during the summer of 2021, I had met with one of our programs in here is health outreach. Okay. So I met with my coordinator, and at that point I had this vision of we need to do something a little more, than I felt there was a gap here we're missing. So it was decided then that the worker would go out and hit the street as a trial, and let's do it once a week, and we do bag lunches. And however, I mean, we didn't even have to advertise this. He started getting 4 to 5 people. And then we just saw that it just continually started to increase small. And then with the huge increase we started to see, so the employee was then able to connect and meet as well with those individuals that were living in the bush, the homelessness.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it wasn't too long after after that, we were very fortunate and received some approved funding from the OFIOC, which is the Ontario Federation of Indigenous Friendship Centers.
Okay.
So anyway, this funding was to help support those experiencing or at-risk homelessness in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So based on the eligible requirements of this funding, it was decided that we'd look for a location to provide what we called it our out of the cold program. And on November the 9th, 2021, we signed a lease to operate our out of the cold program there. And that was kind of an out of the cold day program,
Right.
which would provide food and shelter during the day only, however.
Right. Great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So
Great.
when we officially opened the doors, it wasn't long that we saw a huge increase in numbers in there. So back in November, we saw in the month of November about 150 people come through there at that location. And actually, I just asked if I could have the stats for March, and it was approximately 435.
Wow, what an increase.
So since November to now, we had 2,500 people served through this location. Yeah.
And you serve both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, correct?
Yes.
Anyone who comes through the door.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Anyone that comes, we've helped both, and
wow.
Yeah.
That's a huge need, obviously, then. Good for you for stepping in. That's amazing.
Yeah.
For the community.
Yeah.
So tell me, I've noticed over the last few weeks, I've noticed a plethora of new programs or returning programs or programs being advertised by the Friendship Center. Can you give me a quick rundown of a few of those programs and who they target? Just like this is the program and this is who we service kind of thing. Because I've noticed quite a few, which is amazing. Just so people are aware what's out there for them to access.
Yes, exactly. So we do have, we run a children's program from infant to 6-year-old.
Okay.
And that's the Community Action Program for Children, CAPC. And we also run an Aquago program, and that one is for 7 to 12-year-old as well. And we also have a youth life promotion, and that one is for our youth. And we also have a cultural resource program, and that's provides a lot of their ceremonies and teachings and that. Okay, we have a cultural competency as well. We're running a program. We did a huge awareness program here a few months ago, where we had approximately 100 people, 105 people in attendance. And I would say about 90% of them were non-Indigenous, and it was fabulous. It was a real success, and it was very moving and emotional for a lot of them that didn't know the history, of what happened. Yeah. So, and we also, as besides having Bindigan, and Bindigan was a name we gave the downtown out of the coal name, and that means welcome or come in. That's an Indigenous Ojibwe word for it. So, and we also opened in around 2018. We opened another location for our childcare center. So we have a capacity there of 15, and we're pretty well at max now. And we do have a waiting list as yet to a couple of years waiting list to get in there.
Wow. And
that location is called Miigwaansug, and the name was given to us by an elder, and it translated means little feathers. So we thought that was so appropriate. Yeah. So,
Wow,
yeah,
so that's quite a list, and I'm sure there's others that, you know, certainly there's so many, it's hard to keep track, but we'll get to where people can find out more later on in case there's other programs that people want to be a part of.
for sure.
I know, again, as you said, you're reaching out to both Indigenous and non-Indigenous, and you're welcoming anyone in who wants to learn or, you know, experience the incredible culture of the people at the Friendship Center. So it's a
Yes.
pretty great space. Technical question. So tell me, how do you receive support? How are you funded?
Well, we do get funding from the Ontario Federation of, as I mentioned, Ontario Federation of Indigenous Friendship Centers.
Yeah.
And we have a regional office in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So our flow through is there, and our funding. And we also do receive funding through the District Social Service Board. Our flow through is there for our childcare center.
Mm-hmm.
And another funding is through public health,
mm-hmm.
which does fund one of our programs here as well. And then as well, we really have been receiving a lot of donations as well.
Wow.
Monetary donations that have been coming in at just been so amazing, and that's really helped us to enhance our programs as well. So yeah.
Well, and I know you're saving to build a new center, correct?
Yes, we sure are.
So that's a huge project, I'm sure. What is the goal for that?
Well, the goal for it, actually, we're looking at our goal is to have $23 million for this.
Yeah.
And we have been receiving some funding through Ontario Federation as well. So with the funding that has been recently approved, we are going to be doing ground preparations here actually next month.
Amazing.
To prepare the grounds where the building is going to go.
Congratulations, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yes, and we are working with an architect, is an Indigenous architect as well, and we contracted a project manager, and so he's been quite busy, and we've submitted all of our proposals out now, and so we're just sitting back, waiting, crossing our fingers that we'll start getting some approvals here soon.
That's great. I like to talk about is this charitable donation of real estate as an option. And people around in Canada can donate real estate at any point in time. But in the US, they receive a tax credit for that donation. And they've done that since 1917. They received the tax credit. So it's very attractive. Some people donate, they don't care about the tax credit. Like as a nonprofit, the impact that a donation of real estate could have on you could be huge. I mean, if you think about the value of real estate. And when I heard about this concept and realized it wasn't happening in Canada, but it's an option for people that they don't know about, I just wanted to ask you, what kind of an impact could that have on an organization such as yourself?
A gift of this sort, or support of this sort would increase, definitely for us, it would increase the capacity of the Parry Sound Friendship Center to deliver services. And it would provide a permanent home as well for our present drop-in center that we have only one more year of funding with the center that Indigenous that I was speaking of, downtown. Yeah, so just, I could see that as being a huge support there for us. Yeah.
For those who can't donate real estate just quite yet, what are ways that you could use support? How can people help the Friendship Center right now? What can they do to help you?
Well, I always just say become a volunteer or become a member. We do have, membership as well. That's part of how we survive here, with our membership. And I would say, continue to donate, or if you can make a donation, We have a website that accepts monetary donations,
Okay.
or you can just drop in to see us. And, we're at 70 Isabella Street. And if you can, our website is psfc.ca. And yeah, we have a lot of information on there as well. And we do also have a Facebook page. If you typed in Parry Sound Friendship Center and hit like, and you would see a lot of our program postings and what programs are happening are listed there as well. So
yeah, I see a lot. So I came up with this concept of shining the light because I think it's important. Things have been pretty dreary the past couple of years. And I think there's been so much great stuff happening that no one knows about. So I'm really excited to be able to talk to nonprofits and shine the light on them, because I know that they are shining the light on their clients. And so if I say that to you, what does it mean to you? What is the friendship doing to shine the light on the people they're servicing?
I think I'd like to maybe share a story with you, that
Please.
kind
Yes.
of gives the impact, how we did shine the light on this individual, I guess, or this individual shone a light on us as well. So,
Yes.
so since my employment, I've had, like I said, I've had several aha moments here, in the last 6 years. But this particular one really squeezed my heart. In around 2018, I had a non-Indigenous man drop into our location on Bow Street, was our old location. So we had a really long chat, and I shared with him who we are and what we do. And then he said to me that, you know what, I passed this place many times throughout the years and never knew what this place was about, he said, because we were right downtown, and you couldn't miss our spot. So, but his emotions were so overwhelming, he started to cry, based on, I guess, what I was sharing and what we do. So I asked him at that point, if he ever smudged, and he said he didn't know what smudging was. So I shared with him the teachings of the stage, and which was what I was going to be using, and if I had his permission. And he was just so welcoming with that. He said, sure. So after we smudged and we chatted, he said, you know what, Dolores, he says, I feel so good, he said. So he left, and he was very grateful, and he asked if it was okay if he could come back again. And I told him, you know what, you're welcome here anytime, I told him. So he did start coming back then on a regular basis as well. So.
That's wonderful. This is a perfect example of how welcoming people are to people. We're all people. And, the fact that you have your doors open to anyone who wants to come in, it's amazing. We learn about each other that way, and we become more open and accepting. That's a perfect example.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think, now we, having read the 94 calls for action with the Truth and Reconciliation, this is, what we were doing it back then normally and naturally, but now it's even, more out there now, which is, I think it's fabulous. It's a beautiful way of healing as well. This medicine wheel was his creation. When he came to visit me, I gave him just the basics of teaching around this medicine wheel. It was so simple, to the fact that what I told him was that the yellow represents the Asian people. Oh, I should go this way. Yeah, this. The yellow represents the Asian people, the red representing the Indigenous people, the black representing the black, the white representing Caucasian people. So I told him, now you look in the middle, we all join. So he just loved it so much. He actually put his little stamp here.
Oh, wow. That's so nice.
He actually passed away here about a little over a year ago. He was battling with cancer. But he left this with us, and he was so touched and connected that he visited several businesses in town. So if you ever go into any of the stores and you see this wheel hanging there, That was his doing. He
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
get it out. He was so excited. He
For
wanted to
him.
get it out there. Yes. So
Amazing. Amazing.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, Dolores, that finishes us our time, and I'm so thankful that we were able to speak and share what the Friendship Center is doing and some of the impacts that you have had over the years. A long time Friendship Center has been around. So
Yes.
I'm excited to see where this goes for you. And as you know, your building gets completed and you continue to grow. I hope people who have watched this are able to reach out to you and, you know, either support through donations of time, money, and even just being a member, like you said, and getting involved. So I thank you very much for your time.
Yes. And thank you as well, Denise. I mean, I just love the shining the light, you know. The first thing I thought about was shining the light was that, like I mentioned in my prayer this morning, with that beautiful grandfather's son that rises from that eastern doorway, you know, and it's a new beginning and that new day. And that's what this is all about. So yeah, miigwech, thank you.
Miigwech, thank you. I hope you enjoyed listening to our conversation. I look forward to connecting with you very soon. This is Denise George, eXp Realty All Points North Group, and Canada's first certified charitable real estate specialist. I want to thank you for joining me, and please tune in next time where I will continue to shine the light on our nonprofits who are making an impact every day. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. If you know of a nonprofit that I should speak to, I would love to connect with them. I'd love to hear their story, and I'd love to be able to share their story. Please reach out to me. My contact information is coming up, or you can find it just posted below this video.